Welcome to the Parenting Brief. I'm your host, Jessica Stewart-Gonzalez, an Arizona working mom and program director for the Maternal, Infant, and Early Childhood Home Visiting Program at the Arizona Department of Health Services. This podcast is for busy parents on the go. Fold some laundry, chauffeur your kids, or feed the baby while you take just a few minutes to learn from the experts who are also parents just like you. We're so glad you're here for another episode of the Parenting Brief. As parents, the health of our children is always top of mind. From what they eat, to how well they sleep, taking care of them when they're sick, and always trying to figure out if they are on track for that next big milestone. Everything around them impacts their health, and that includes the environment and other people around them. That's why secondhand smoke is today's topic. While anyone can experience the negative health effects of secondhand smoke, it is particularly concerning for young babies and toddlers. Exposure can lead to asthma attacks and respiratory infections like bronchitis. Before you turn off the episode because no one in your family smokes or they only smoke outdoors, it's important to know how secondhand smoke impacts your little one far beyond just direct exposure. Secondhand smoke can be a concern in places like apartment complexes that commonly have shared ventilation systems. It lingers on clothing and skin of those who smoke and then hold your baby. And even secondhand vaping is harmful to the health of little babies and toddlers. How can you best protect the health of your little ones? We have what you need to know up next. With us today is Philip Carpenter, the executive director of Arizonans Concerned About Smoking, an organization with the mission to raise awareness on the harms of secondhand smoke exposure. We often hear that secondhand smoke is harmful to our health, but I think there's a lot of misunderstanding as to what exactly secondhand smoke is. Can you explain it?
Secondhand smoke or environmental tobacco smoke is particularly harmful to children and can increase their risk of multiple health issues. Environmental tobacco smoke is made up of a combination of exhaled cigarette smoke, which is called mainstream smoke, and smoke that comes from the end of a smoldering cigarette. This is called side stream smoke. It is also referred to as passive smoke and involuntary smoke. There is no safe level of exposure to secondhand smoke.
And what is thirdhand smoke?
Thirdhand smoke is when secondhand smoke combines with everything in your home, such as your couch, your carpet, your window coverings, your wallpaper. That puts off very harmful gases, and because children are a lot of times, especially younger children, on the floor, they're getting that thirdhand smoke on their hands, and this is just not good at all.
When I think about smoking, I often think of the specific and strong smell that comes with it, especially when walking out of a grocery store or waiting on the sidewalk at a restaurant. Would families know that that's coming into their living environment just by the smell?
Yes, that's one good way. Another reason for this is that young children have very little control over their surroundings. About half of American middle and high school students breathe in secondhand smoke in cars, homes, and public places where smoking is allowed. So even children who live in non-smoking households may be exposed to secondhand smoke at home.
What are some of those health outcomes that parents would see if their child has been exposed to secondhand smoke or even that thirdhand smoke? What would parents be looking for in regards to the health of their child?
Well, let's talk about that, and then let's also go a little bit before the child is even born. There's an impact during pregnancy of smoking. Secondhand smoke can negatively affect babies as they develop during pregnancy. If a pregnant person smokes during pregnancy, the baby is at an increased risk for developmental issues such as learning disabilities and cerebral palsy, and have a low birth weight or being small for gestational age. Low birth weight is a leading cause of infant death. Similarly, for pregnant people who don't smoke themselves, exposure to secondhand smoke during pregnancy can present risks for the baby as well. Now, let me just talk a little bit about what happens after the child is born and what can happen. In other words, what is the impact on children's health? The lungs of children who regularly breathe in secondhand smoke develop more slowly. The impact of secondhand smoke on children also includes increased risks of health conditions. Here's what they are, and we've all heard of them: sudden infant death syndrome, or SIDS. Smoking during pregnancy also increases the risk of SIDS. There's also middle ear disease. Inhaled cigarette smoke irritates the eustachian tube, the pathway that connects the throat and middle ear. The resulting inflammation, known as otitis media, is the most common cause of hearing loss in young children. You've all heard of asthma. Secondhand smoke causes problems for children with asthma and can exacerbate and make breathing issues more frequent. Passive smoking may also be responsible for new cases of asthma.
What are some ways that families can have conversations with their friends and family who may smoke, who come into their home or may hold their baby? How do they approach that type of conversation in a way where they can still be part of those family experiences without causing that additional stress or building that wall between them and their members of their family who are smoking?
I have to believe those kinds of questions and thoughts and issues are coming about because of a change in the social norm. When Smoke Free Arizona went into effect May 1, 2007, that basically made workplaces in Arizona smoke free. That understanding and that education then continues and evolves to where there's now a better understanding and a better appreciation of, wait a minute, if that workplace is smoke free, why am I living in a community that allows smoking or vaping? Where can I get information about how to change that to where we live in a smoke and vape free community? And that's what we do at Arizona Smoke Free Living. We help multifamily housing option communities, such as primarily apartments. We did have a condo last year transition to smoke and vape free, but anyone who's out there that's interested, this is what we do. We work with the on-site property manager, and through education and following our protocol, we help make these transitions possible.
Thank you for joining us, Philip.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Jessica.
If you're looking for more information on how you can avoid secondhand smoke exposure, take a look at our show notes. And while you're there, don't forget to follow the Parenting Brief podcast on your favorite app. Be sure to share the episode and more with any new or expecting parents, caregivers, or family members in your life. Until next time, this is Jessica. You've got this.